I'm Tanya Gustafson, award-winning nutritionist, behavior specialist, and certified mental wellness coach on a mission to help midlife women move from barely surviving to thriving. You have been lied to. Weight gain, mood swings, hot flashes, brain fog, despite what the world and even your doctor may have told you, do not have to be your story. You are not broken. You've just never been shown how to fuel your body in a way that creates hormonal balance. Fit Woman Podcast is where we expose the lies and share all things to help women take back control of their health, hormones, weight, and mental wellness and thrive through midlife. I'm so glad you're here. Hello there, and welcome back to Fit Woman Podcast. Thank you for joining me today, where we discuss all things that help women fuel their bodies, ignite their metabolisms and their minds to thrive through life. So I'm Tanya Gustafson, your host, and we're going to be talking today about food, because food is our foundation, right? And food and what's being done to it, and what's more specifically, what's not being done here in Canada to help us actually thrive, right? So we're talking about, Canada versus the US, right? They beat us in hockey the other night, unfortunately. And now they're actually, they're besting us in the health game as well when it comes to food. So you might have heard, if you've been following any of the health stuff, that down in the United States, they have flipped their food pyramid. Now, a few years ago, and I don't watch this religiously. I don't even watch it at all, but it popped up and I thought, oh my gosh, it's so true. So I just wanted to share this with you to kick off the show today. A little bit of something that pokes fun at our food, fun at our government, fun at our, pokes a little fun at what our food is not doing for us and what we really need to do about it. Okay, so I'm just going to share this little video called Fix the Food Pyramid. It's from South Park, which, like I said, something I don't normally watch, but this one I just felt I had the need to share. So let me just, hang on one second. I just want to make sure that when I share, there we go. There's the sound. It wasn't going to share without the sound. Okay, so here we go. Let's make this bigger, and there we go.
It's dinner time on the East Coast in less than an hour. People are going to die.
Sir, we've got a boy on the hotline who says he might know something.
Who is this?
My name isn't important. What matters is that the answer is in the pyramid.
The pyramid? That's ancient stuff you're talking about. Are you sure? Bring up the pyramid.
What is it? What is it for?
We built the pyramid a long time ago to illustrate how much people should eat of the 4 basic food groups.
Sir, we abandoned the pyramid when Michelle Obama got involved.
The pyramid doesn't work. We've already tried it.
It's upside down.
What?
Sir, the pyramid is upside down.
Turn the pyramid upside down. You can't be serious. That would put butter and fat at the top of the damn food pyramid!
This is not FDA approved.
It's dinner time on the East Coast in 10 minutes. Now do it!
Sir, we've got a match. Nutrition is stabilizing.
We've got a well-balanced vaccine, sir. Get the president on the phone. Tell him to have some steak with his butter.
So I just had to share that because, I've been saying for years that our food pyramid is upside down, and far too many grains have been recommended, because what are grains, right? What are grains? Those are our carbs. And we're not into diets, right? But what is everyone saying? Oh, I need to cut my carbs. What they're really saying, what they really should be meaning rather, is I don't need all these grains. These grains are bloating me. These grains are making me gain weight. They're giving me brain fog. They're disrupting my digestive. I'm just not feeling myself. Hormones are going out of whack. Hot flashes are more, because usually the things that have the grains in them are also highly processed. Even if it's just a slice of bread, it is really highly processed. You don't even know what's in it half the time. Check the ingredient list on your bread. It's no longer just flour, salt, yeast, and water. There's a whole bunch of things in it, and that's causing us a whole host of issues, right? So, Now, not meaning to get political at all. That's not what I'm talking about. But I just wanted to bring up the food pyramid, our one here in Canada, as well as the one in the United States. So, let me just find where I put that. There we go. Okay. So the chart that I found in Canada actually shows the recommendations of how much the government is recommending that we eat every single day. All right. So, it's not in the shape of a pyramid on this particular graph. It's just a chart that shows the number of servings that is the government saying that we should be recommending. So I love that fruits and vegetables are at the top now, which is great. So they swapped it out with grains. That's a huge step forward. These are your carbs too. Okay. So I do agree with this at the top, eating a high amount of fruits and vegetables. Now, they have it here, fresh or frozen or canned. I'm going to say ditch the canned. There's a whole lot of extra things in that can, unless you're canning them yourself. Anyone else used to can with their mom years ago? Right. If you're doing that, great, because you know what's in it. If it's not, don't, put the cans away. Buy the frozen if you can't afford fresh, or, if you're buying in bulk and you think you can't eat all the fresh, then definitely get the frozen. Leafy vegetables, yes, cooked or raw. Raw is always good if you can, because you're going to retain those nutrients. Steaming instead of boiling down to a mash is much better. And then, fresh or frozen, canned fruits. Fresh or frozen or canned, it says here, but no, go with your fresh or frozen fruits as well as we talked about with the vegetables. Okay. Same reason, right? Same reason. There's going to be a lot of stuff in there. Also check your frozen fruits, because sometimes they add some preservatives in there. Sometimes they add a little sugar. Sometimes they add, a few other things. So just because you are buying, say, a bag of strawberries, you think, oh, there's only strawberries in here. May or may not be the case. So you need to be your own health advocate. You need to read those labels. Anytime. I'm just going to preface this. Anytime you're buying something in a package, box, bag, can, or wrapper, you need to read those labels, because you may think you're eating and putting some things in your body that you're actually you're putting better things in your body than you actually are. So we don't want to do that. Grains, they're still recommending that adults having 6 to 7, even to 8 servings of grains per day. That's insane. That's insane. That's like, toast for breakfast, a couple slices of toast for breakfast, a whole bagel for lunch, a couple of flatbread wraps, for a snack or whatever, some rice and some quinoa and you'd have to have a grain at every single meal, and then like granola bar for a snack or something. That is just ridiculous. If you are eating that many grain products, think about it. Where will you have room to fit in the fruits and vegetables? Because let's face it, which one's easier to grab? The bagel and the cream cheese, or to make a fruit salad? Wasn't that great? Okay, so before we get back into today's episode, I want to share something that I know will change your life for the better, like it did mine. If you're over 40, feeling like your body just does not respond the way it used to, your metabolism feels stuck, and your energy is not what it once was, and the scale keeps creeping up no matter how good you try and eat, you need to hear this, okay? You are not broken, and this is not your fault. Your hormones, blood sugar, and yes, even inflammation are all playing a role in what's happening with your body right now. But there is a method that actually works with your midlife physiology instead of against it, okay? So I want to invite you to watch my free training video where I break down the FIT method, how to fuel your body, ignite your metabolism, and help you thrive through midlife without the dieting, without the deprivation, or the burnout. In this video, I'll walk you through why your metabolism feels like it's stuck in airplane mode, why cutting calories and doing that extra cardio is not the answer, and how to stabilize blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and support your hormones so that you can have real sustainable results that stick. No gimmicks, no quick fixes, and definitely no diets. And once you've watched, if it resonates with you and you're ready to say, I'm worth it, because you are, go ahead, complete that questionnaire, and book your consult with me to talk through your plan and set a strategy for your body and your goals. What are you waiting for? Head on over to fuelignitethrive.com or click the link in the show notes, watch the free training, book your call, and together we can make midlife the best time of your life. It's time, and you are worth it. If you're looking at this, if people are looking at the food pyramid, or this food chart rather here, and then deciding that, oh, well, they're both equally important because they're giving me almost equal amounts, so I can pick one or the other. Not the case. Okay. They are not equal. They are not equal in nutritional value. Look at all the bright colors here at the top with the fruits and vegetables. Whereas you look at all the bland colors here with the grains. Okay. If you want your health to be vibrant and healthy and full of nutritional value, you need all these vibrant, healthy colors, right? If you want your health to be bland and blah, you pick the bland and blah colored foods. Okay. And then we have milk and alternatives. And so, yeah, being careful what you're having here. Dairy can cause a lot of bloat, but that doesn't mean that just picking a substitute is going to solve your problem. They're recommending fortified soy beverage. Ooh, yuck. Soy beverage. That doesn't even mean I don't advocate soy at all. It's a very low quality protein. But even if this was a good option, they're saying it's a soy beverage, not like what else is in there with it. It's not just a soy milk, right? So, and then yogurts and all the things that they go with this. The slide here got cut off a little bit, so you can't see, but you get the idea. Now, if you're looking at this in order of importance, most people are going to think that these are in order of importance, right? You're going to want to, if you're going to pick dairy, I would go with a Greek yogurt without anything else in it. And I would have more of that than milk, definitely more than anything in a can or a box. If you're going to pick an alternative milk, then make sure you're reading the labels, right? So stay away from the oat milks. That is a metabolic bomb. It's so high in carbohydrates. So it's refined oatmeal. And it gets down to sugar. As soon as you're putting it into your body, it converts right to sugar. It's a huge metabolic upset, which disrupts your hormones, your blood sugar, your insulin, your cortisol, your like a whole bunch of stuff. So just walk away from that one. Okay. So maybe a cashew milk, an almond, a coconut. I prefer coconut, and I do buy that in a can because it's pure, but I read the label. So make sure you're reading it. You can also get it in a Tetra Brick. If I can find it, I'll buy it in the Tetra Brick. But reading the label. So I buy a coconut milk that's just coconut milk. It's organic. It's coconut milk. That's it. Maybe it has coconut and water in it. And that's all you want. You don't want the polysorbate 80. You don't want the guar gums. You don't want the whatever all the other emulsifiers are that they put in. And then they're putting meats and alternatives. Now, if you're looking at this, you're thinking that this is probably the order of importance. It's also the order of the amount, right? So they're saying eat way less. They're saying girls and boys really only need to have, growing children really only need to have 1 serving of protein per day. No. How will they grow? Protein is our building blocks for everyone. So yes, children are growing, but adults are still growing too. You're saying, Tanya, what are you doing? How are we growing? Every 7 years, average, we are a whole new person. All our cells are replicating and have redone all of our organs and systems and blood vessels and all the things. And so if we're replicating over and over and over again, wouldn't you want to replicate a healthier you, right? Wouldn't you want to use nutrients to do that replication as opposed to your body struggling? And that's when we find that we don't age well and we age into sickness as opposed to aging well. All right. So just thinking about that. Protein is our building block. We need it. We need lots of it. We need it often. We need it frequently throughout the day. We don't need one big, massive amount of it at dinner and ignore it the rest of the day. We need to start our day with it, and we need to have it multiple times throughout the day. Give your kiddos that protein throughout the day. Give it to them in their lunch at school. You have it with them first thing in the morning. You have it for your snack. You have it for your lunch. You have it for an afternoon snack. Bring them one when you pick them up after school. Have it for dinner. Small bits throughout the day. Okay. With everything else that you have, that keeps your blood sugar stable. It allows your body to replicate well. It supports your muscles, your bone structure, your cognitive function, your energy levels, your metabolism, all the things. And it really helps our children grow. It helps them focus and concentrate better in school, because if they're only focused on these carbohydrates here or here, then they get a burst of energy and then it crashes. And I have worked in schools, and and this goes for grownups too, right? Who has that 2:00 in the afternoon slump, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and everyone's like, oh, who's going for a coffee run? Somebody bring me a coffee, right? It's because you're not having enough protein often enough and your blood sugar is crashing. All right. So I'm going to come out of here now. And I just wanted to make sure that, we talked about that. So this is what Canada recommends so far. So yes, good on the fruits and vegetables for sure. Not so much with the grains. They're putting it at equal value with fruits and vegetables, and it's definitely not. Okay. If you want colorful and vibrant health, you choose colorful and vibrant foods. If you want bland health, choose everything white and beige if you want a white and beige health, right? Okay. So I hope that's targeting you and hitting home. They mention nothing of healthy fats. Let me bring this up again. You'll notice nothing of healthy fats in here. Nothing at all. And I'm shocked. Actually, I'm not shocked because, it's the governments are, focused on, food companies lobby the government for funding and for all the things. And, so they're influenced and they present the studies that they want to present, done by the companies with the processed foods. Okay. So, anyone who's my age-ish, you're going to remember that back in the 90s, we were told, don't eat fat. Fat is bad. Fat makes you fat. Stop with the fat. Everything went to fat, low fat, fat free, and now fat and sugar are our flavors, make foods taste good. So if you take out the healthy fats, they were replacing it with either a, thing that they made up in a lab called trans fats, which eventually is getting banned, or they're replacing it with sugar, which causes a blood sugar spike, and then your body stores that to fat immediately. So really, fat-free wasn't fat-free, and it's evident by our health and where weight is in Canada and the United States, frankly. They actually are doing something about it, which is the segue into that. So they have flipped their food pyramid, just like the South Park episode, right? And I was watching, there was a Just Eat Real Food rally that was on the other day. People gathered everywhere. Robert F. Kennedy was speaking about why they changed it and what they're hoping to accomplish with health there and how they're working towards reversing chronic disease and all the things, right? And it was just very inspiring. And we're hearing nothing of that in Canada, although, and I'm really following the United States because with this health movement, because as goes the US, so goes the world at some point, right? They brought in all the stuff that everyone's doing right now in developed nations with the, low fat, high carb, don't eat fats, fat's still bad. And you have to cut your calories and you have to deprive yourself in order to lose weight. Oh, just gaining weight happens when you get older. Oh, diabetes just happens when you get older. Oh, this and that and the other happen when you get older. They only happen when you get older because of the length of time you've been doing things that don't serve your body. Like missing the protein, missing the healthy fats, having more of the blandy, beigey foods rather than the vibrant, brightly colored fruits and vegetables that nourish your body at a cellular level and then cause you to replicate as a healthier human as you grow older. Okay. So let me just find, I'm going to pull this up here. Let me, can make this in the center of my screen. Okay. You guys know I'm not a tech guru, but here we go. So if you're listening, I challenge you to go over to the website, fuelignitethrive.com, and you can click on the blog section, and there's the video of the podcast. So you can watch that there and you can see what I'm sharing here. So if you're watching, on the audio version, flip over to watch the video. You can also go over to YouTube. There's the video there. And then I believe Spotify has a video option as well too. So, all right. So this is what the US did. Okay. This was their old food pyramid, same as what we just saw and that we're still using in Canada, right? Where the grains are super high and they're saying that should be your foundation, lots of grains. Whereas ours were equal. Ours are still equal. They're saying, nope. They're saying, they were even saying that to have more, ours was exactly this. So our small improvement is basically, saying that the fruits and vegetables now you should have as much as your grains. Well, we all know that's not going to happen because these processed things are so much easier to grab, right? And then you can still say, oh, well, I'm getting my servings in, right? I'm getting my carb servings in. So this was their old food pyramid, heavy on the processed grains, pastas, fruits and veggies, meats and dairies, and then nothing at the top. So again, they talked nothing about fats either. So here they have flipped that. They have put grains. Yeah, they're still coming in at the bottom, but at the bottom of the priority list, which is exactly where they should be. They're beige, they're bland, they don't have as many nutrients. Our carbs are our energy. So yes, we need carbohydrates, but what else are also carbs? Fruits and vegetables. So you can get your energy and you can get your fiber, which helps to balance your blood sugar, supports your metabolism, helps make a healthy digestive, increases the healthy bacteria in your gut. So the fiber-rich foods, all these amazing fruits and vegetables in here that they're listing all throughout the food pyramid, meaning put them all throughout your day, right? That fiber creates a healthier microbiome because the fiber feeds the probiotics. So when you eat probiotic-rich foods, then you need fiber to feed that. Okay. Probiotics are the good bacteria in your body, and prebiotics is the fiber that feeds it so that you can grow the good bacteria and shrink the bad bacteria. Okay. Because if it's the other way around, if you have more bad bacteria than good, that's called dysbiosis. And that's where you get all the bloating, the digestive issues, the IBS, the, autoimmune, brain fog, the weight gain that you're gaining weight or you can't lose weight. That also filters down and goes into prediabetes, diabetes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia. Yeah, because when your gut is disrupted, your blood sugar is disrupted. There's a whole bunch of inflammation. Inflammation is the root of all disease. So yeah, it's a domino effect, right? It's not one thing. It's how you do everything, but it starts with this one thing, flipping it and doing it in the right order. So those are now down at the bottom. Yay! So I suggest all of the Canadians watching to flip your food pyramid and follow this one, especially if you've got littles at home. And then your fruits and vegetables, healthy amounts of protein and healthy fats and some whole dairies. Like if you're going to have dairy, try and get the whole milk. Don't do the fat-free ones, because if you're taking out the fat, you're putting in sugar. Trust me, they're putting sugar in your milk. And then lots and lots of fruits and vegetables. Okay. So now I've got a few notes here that I took so if I'm not looking at the camera right away, I'm looking at my notes. Okay. So just so you know, not ignoring you, but I just don't want to miss anything. All right. So I took a few notes when I was watching that, Just Eat Real Food rally. Like, what a great name, right? Just eat real food. Why is that such a crazy concept, right? Okay. Podcast notes here. There's my little notes that I was going to talk to you about, right? So way back when, Secretary Kennedy was saying when he was a kid, so way back, early 60s and whatever, the cases of juvenile diabetes, doctors would maybe see one in their career, in a career of about, 30, 40, 50 years. They'd see maybe one child with juvenile diabetes. And to just tag on to that, anyone out there who has diabetes, or someone that has diabetes, they're telling you that they have type 2 diabetes, right? Type 2. It used to be called, get ready for this, adult onset diabetes. Maybe you've heard that before, maybe you haven't. But when I was a kid, it was called adult onset diabetes because kids didn't get it. It came on when you were an adult. And think about this, when something comes on, you've done something or not done something to cause a reaction. You've caused something, right? So the metformin and things that are being prescribed for these issues, your body is not deficient in metformin. You don't have diabetes because your body's deficient in metformin or any other, thing that they're giving you. Now, type 1 is different. You're born with a deficiency of insulin. And so, that's an entirely different ball of wax here. But type 2 diabetes can absolutely be reversed. It used to be called adult onset, meaning it came on so that you can reverse it, right? But nobody's talking about what we can do to reverse that. And nobody's talking about why we changed the name. There are so many children with that right now. I mean, right now, 38%, of teens are diabetic or pre-diabetic. That's a scary number. That's like 1 in 3. That's crazy. These are U.S. statistics. Canada is not far behind. We are like right behind them. We have a smaller population, so the numbers are a little bit less, but we are like right behind them. We are the unhealthiest we've ever been in history, in recorded history. Autism rates, incidences of disease, back in 1970 and this is globally, okay? This is globally. This is not just for the United States. Autism rates used to be 0.8, so less than one child in a body of 10,000 kids, right? And now it's 1 in 31. Some places it's maybe 1 in 42. Some places in California, it's actually 1 in 19 in total kids and 1 in 12.5 boys. So there are things that certain areas are doing worse, certain areas are doing better, but generally any of those numbers is unacceptable in my opinion, right? And what is causing that? It's not something that is inherited because it's done it too fast. So it's a lot of the toxins that we're exposed to. So whether we're ingesting them, whether they're in our air, in our water, in our soil, in medications, whatever it happens to be, there's too much of something and not enough of something else, or a combination, right? But that really needs to be looked into. And autoimmune and food allergies have just skyrocketed among everybody. So I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I really didn't know anybody with allergies. My sister had an allergy to penicillin, and that was it. Yeah, I didn't know anybody with a peanut allergy. I didn't know anybody on an inhaler. I didn't know anybody with hay fever. It was just, and now there are people with allergies everywhere. I mean, restaurants have to have gluten-free. They have to have different options for people because there's just so many food sensitivities and so many allergies. Again, not something that can be inherited. It's something that's happening in our food system and what we're doing, or our lack of our body's ability to flush out toxins. And that also comes down to what we're putting in our bodies, because if we're not putting in the right things, enough of the brightly colored stuff, not the beige stuff, remember, then our body can't properly regulate our immune function. It can't properly flush out toxins. Okay. Also, this is a good point of note. I saw this several years ago, and this was just reiterated only in a different scenario. I saw, if anyone ever has seen Jamie Oliver, you ever seen Jamie Oliver? He's a chef, and he's known for revamping food in schools in the UK to show that it would be more cost effective to use whole, fresh ingredients foods than to buy the packaged, the hot dogs, the chicken strips, the fast foody type stuff that you can, put out there and give it to kids, right? And really, if you're trying to nourish kids, or if you're trying to nourish society as a whole, because our kids are growing into our adults, right? And those are going to be the ones that are governing the world, right? At some point. So we need to create a healthier base of humans. And so he went in to show that when you use whole food, it's actually more cost effective. It's more nutrient dense. The kids perform better in school and behaviors went way down. I mean, that's been done in prisons. It's been done in schools. It's now being done in the military. Robert Irvine was doing that in the military for the U.S. And they gave a number here just so you know, well, how cost effective is it? Well, I don't know what part of the country they were in, but, and of course he's buying in bulk, right? So when you buy in bulk, everything's cheaper. So, but just think about the ratio here, wherever you are. He was able to buy things fresh in bulk and create 3 meals a day at a cost of $10 per day per person. That's pretty amazing in itself. The cost prior to him coming in and doing an audit was $18.50. So that's almost half. So think about that in your own grocery shopping and in your own planning for your own family. I mean, I know we're busy, and I know we like to, get a takeout once in a while, or do the Uber Eats or the DoorDash or whatever it happens to be, because we're busy. But especially if cost is a thing for you, think about where else can you transfer that buying dollar. And then perhaps when you're cooking dinner, pretend that you're having company over and cook in bulk so that you can put that in the fridge and then do that a few times. And now you have some leftovers. You get to Friday, you don't have to worry about cooking. You can just get everyone to pick what their favorite is from the last couple of days, and everybody can heat up a meal. You can sit down together as a family. You didn't spend a dime, and you didn't have to cook it that night. So, just come in here with some common sense, but sometimes we just really need to know, just really need to hear it again, or we just really need to hear something in a different way. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the number of ingredients in food. Now, we get a lot of products from the US that comes across our border that we buy, that we use. Maybe it's packaged in Canada, but it comes from the US. There's a lot of things that people actually don't realize are coming from our US neighbors. So that's the other reason I wanted to talk about this. It's very important. So as they're fixing the quality of foods, we are going to get better things as we, order them, as companies purchase them and sell them in stores. Especially like the big box stores, like the Walmarts and all the things like that. They are buying in bulk across North America. So we're getting things from the US, whether you like it or not. Now, they announced that the US has 10,000 ingredients in their food currently. So if they had to make a list of all things in the food, there aren't 10,000 real food items on this planet. Think about that, right? Okay. The EU, to contrast that, has 400 foods listed. The rest, so the other 9,600 are banned over there, which means they recognize that they're not actually real food items. They're chemical based. They're created in a lab. They could be toxins. They could be heavy metals, whatever, but they don't allow them in their food. So I think Canada needs to step up and do an audit the same way, so that we can actually start turning around the health of Canadians, giving some relief for women in menopause, because all of those toxins and things that we're eating definitely fire up those hot flashes and make it more difficult to balance those hormones, make it more difficult to bring down the inflammation. Not impossible, but it makes it more difficult, for sure. So, and then the other thing, which I thought was really, really awesome, and it might influence your decision going ahead about how you choose your family doctor. Because in Canada here, we get a lot of doctors coming from a lot of different countries. South Africa, we get some coming from the United States. I used to go to the gym with a gentleman who was, who actually lived in Canada, but he was getting trained as a doctor in the US because, he had trouble. That's where he got into medical school first. He applied and that's where he got accepted. So that's where he went. Now, coming up, doctors, they did an interview with doctors in the United States regarding nutrition. And I have coached doctors. So I totally know that this is true. The doctors that I've coached, the young people like that gentleman that I know personally that have been going through medical school, a med student that I coached, they've all told me that in their entire medical career, they've got maybe an hour, maybe 4 hours max of nutritional advice. They don't get what they need to properly advise you on food. And when surveyed, 80% of doctors currently say they don't feel qualified to offer nutritional advice to their patients. And we know from studies, from even in my private practice, most diabetes can be reversed. We can do that. We can bring that. We can roll that back with food. Absolutely. It's been shown over and over again using food. Okay. So, in the US now, they have met with all the different boards and the medical schools and things like that. And they have added to the curriculum that doctors must now, moving forward, learn about nutrition, and it will be 15% of their final exam. So yay! So going forward in the next, it takes a while for people to get through medical school. So just put that note in the back of your brain. Hopefully that translates over here to Canada as well too. But if it doesn't, you might want to ask where your doctor's from and maybe choose somebody from the US so that they can give you some really sound nutritional advice as opposed to, just kind of guessing. So it's always good to ask your doctor what they know about nutrition, what they've done, because that doesn't mean that all doctors in Canada don't know about nutrition. It just means that they've had to go and learn about it on their own. Okay. So do ask them if you have some sort of chronic disease, illness, you're having an issue, any sort of issue. Okay. What you put in matters. Food is your foundation. Think about your car in the driveway. If you've been with me for a long time, you know that I use this analogy over and over again because it's true. Your car in the driveway drives you around town. You're not going to put the wrong gas in it. You're not going to put the wrong oil in it. You're not going to forget to rotate the tires and put the winter tires on in the winter and the summers in the summer. You're going to do all those things, right? So why would you put the wrong things in your body? This is your vehicle that drives you through life. Okay. So, there used to be like zero tax dollars spent on healthcare. Now there's millions, even billions of dollars spent on disease management, which should throw up a red flag. It's not health. It's not creating health. It's disease management. Okay. So just bear that in mind. Over 90% of prescriptions are written with the intent that you're probably going to be on this for life. Please don't take that to heart. Please know that if you are on a prescription right now, there's something going on in your body that you can and you should be addressing with food, trying to reduce inflammation, watching your stress, all the 6 plates that we always deal with, like, right? Let me bring up those 6 plates. If you're new here, let me just do a little refresher. Here's our 6 plates. Right? Food is our foundation. So that's why I talk about plates. Food is food on plates, right? But nutrition, exercise, sleep, how much are you sleeping? How well are you sleeping so your body can properly metabolize and process what you're doing? Water, how much are you drinking and are you hydrated? Stress, are you managing it? And supplements, are you filling in those nutritional gaps? Because regardless of what you think or what you've been told or what your doctor even says, yes, we can get enough of what we need on this planet, but are we? Every day, 24/7, 365, 100% of the time? Absolutely not. I don't know about you, but I'm not a perfect person, right? So we need to put in the right foods. We need to try and get those plates up and spinning as much as possible. And then we need to fill those nutritional gaps. And when we do that in a balanced way to support our blood sugar, to bring down inflammation and to heal our gut, right there, 70% of all your health comes from there. Our body naturally comes back into alignment. And your body, the diseases will reverse, your energy will increase, you'll have a better quality of life, you'll just feel better, you'll age younger, and you'll just enjoy life more, right? So, health is something you can enjoy or you can suffer trying to restore it. So try and be preemptive. If you can't be preemptive and you're already suffering, you're already struggling with a few things, start with food, start with the flipped pyramid. Okay, start with this one. Remember this guy. Start with the new version of what they're doing south of the border. And regardless what you think of the administration or anybody else down there, this is not a political show. This is a show about health and what you can do to improve your body. And this definitely will help you get there. Okay? So thanks for joining me on Fit Woman Podcast today. If you like this, please share it. If you found some helpful information, please share it. Subscribe, hit the subscribe, and give us a rating because we're new and we want to know what you think and what you're going to tell your friends. If you're going to share it, I would love it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again on the Fit Woman Podcast. Have an awesome day. Hey, thanks again for tuning in to the Fit Woman Podcast today. I hope you found some value here. Before you go, just a quick reminder, for any products, supplements, tools, or resources mentioned in today's episode, you can find everything over on my website. Just head on over to fuelignitethrive.com. That's fuelignitethrive.com and click on the shop favorites. I've linked the exact brands and products that I personally use and recommend to my clients. So it's super simple, no guesswork. The one exception is peptides. So for any questions on the peptides, please email me at Tanya@fuelignitethrive.com. That's Tanya, Tania, at fuelignitethrive.com. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.